chantaje, siempre es a tu manera. Yo te quiero aunque no quieras. Puro chantaje.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. And tonight our broadcast will be shifting to Minneapolis, where we'll see the Timberwolves going up against the Denver Nuggets. Well, for Denver, what a year they're having. They've run up the best record in the NBA with some absolutely flawless performances. They've been a fun team to watch over the first half of the season. And we'll get to see Paul Millsap tonight. With Paul, he's a guy who entered the league as a guy who would grind it out on the block, but he's transformed himself into a stretch four the last few seasons. How hard is it to make that change as a big man?
Well, I'm not a shooter, Ernie. I'm a prolific MF scorer.
What's
MF stands for most frequently.
Okay.
But I do know for a fact you don't get a good shot overnight. It takes time and effort. He's definitely worked on his game. Usually you work on your shot just to keep defenders honest, but he reminds me of Horace Grant up there 15 feet and out, looking really good.
Well, it's not easy to add a skill when you're in the NBA because pretty much a lot of times your game is set. But, I was
Hello. Hey, you still there?
I had to.
Did you lose your train of thought?
No, I was thinking about myself.
There?
I started thinking about myself. I started thinking about myself.
Wake up.
Hey.
I just started thinking about myself. I'm sorry. But Millsap has done a great job.
Hey, shake yourself, man.
Jeez.
Golly.
Why are you always talking about you?
We're trying to get this thing going. We're trying to do our jobs.
My bad.
At least maybe pay attention to what we're doing.
I was just a KS kind of scorer.
Kevin Harlan standing by. He's got the call.
That's what I was searching for. I forgot. I was like.
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Nuggets come into town for this one. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and our sideline reporter is the Hall of Famer David Aldridge. And wouldn't you know it, our good friend KG, Kevin Garnett, has come by to say hello and join us. Kevin, great to see you.
K-Hall, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm glad you're here.
It's good to see you, man.
You ready to go?
Oh, I'm always ready. What's up?
All right. It's a single-game return to Minnesota for the Timberwolves as they'll look for a boost from their hometown crowd. And, of course, Allen Williams. He won't be an option for them.
And as shocked as people are that they would trade away a player of his caliber, they didn't just let him go for nothing. I mean, they got a lot in return. I think it's a deal that's going to really help them down the road.
And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, guys, sometimes it can be a problem when you have as much talent as the Timberwolves do on their team. And it's a lot of offensive talent as well. So are there enough touches for everybody? Now, Karl Anthony Towns says yes. He says, no matter what, we are all going to eat. There is enough food on the table for all of us. Kevin, this is always a problem for you, but we're going to let you eat first.
All right, D, not a problem. I ordered more than enough for all of us. And Kevin, you've recently gotten a chance to do more TV. Your show Area 21 has been tremendous, and the critics love it. Talk about this chapter of your career.
Well, it was something that I wasn't planning on, but, Turner brought me a great concept, and it fit the mold of what any man cave is, and that's really what it is. But
the fact that we can go in, watch games on multiple channels, see multiple games, articulate it, give it from a perspective of a player, coming fresh out of this generation of players, giving understanding to this generation of players is very important because these players now are very different. Teaching these young players, still being mentors of these players, very important. And still loving this game. It's still a beautiful game. Man, the game is growing. I'm watching these kids do all types of different stuff, man. The creativity in our game now is so heightened. So, yeah, I'm having a bunch of fun, which is one thing I never forgot. The piece of advice you've always told me, man. So you continue to enjoy what you do, and it'll show. And I'm hoping that I'm making you proud of that, Kay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, man.
You're an incredible ambassador to all of those things. The game, the fun of life. Right. You capture a lot of the fun of life. I'm trying,
man. I'm trying. I'm enjoying it, so hopefully it shows.
Now let's take a look at the Nuggets opening lineup. Down low, it's Millsap and Jokic. Oladipo is out there with Murray, and it's George in at the 3 slot. Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every challenge?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses, and each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, C-Web was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball.
Yeah.
So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like,
my
God.
But look at what happened,
bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh, my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk them on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. And he was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
So he gets them both. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at that time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lou, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me, getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Guys, they're looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively, for sure.
Murray, good.
Tell you what, if Murray's on your team, you got to feel comfortable when he's working the pick and roll. His shooting, speed, and passing all make him hard to guard.
Now here's Wiggins. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Oklahoma City. Here's Butler. Oh, and the jam by Butler.
I tell you what, you better watch out, fellas. He is on fire here today.
And we all know what can happen when he gets rolling, Craig. A hot start can turn into an explosive scoring night.
Here's Millsap. And it's going to be a goaltending call here, so they'll count the bucket.
That's a very close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
Some changes for Minnesota. Olenek, he's checked in for Favors. And it's Teague in for Tyus Jones. And a switcher also for Denver. Malik Beasley, he's checked in for Oladipo. Butler against Beasley. Butler kicks to Wiggins. Fires from the corner. Towns, no luck.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Deflects the pass. Butler against Beasley. Millsap a screen. Beasley, the pass to Millsap. And count it. He'll head to the line with a chance to make it 3. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil's super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout out to Doc. And, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay
connected,
stimulated. He would always tell us, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Butler dishes to T. Towns down low, working on Jones. And Jones sends it back. And here they come. Here's Washington. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And here we have an opportunity to check out Karl Anthony Towns. Good season for him last year. First in rebounding, third in free throw shooting, and one of the great shot erasers in our game, providing the last line of defense. How about top 5 in the league for blocks?
And getting back to the fact that he led the league in rebounding, you know how hard that is? What a tremendous asset to the team. First free throw is good. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. So it's the Timberwolves now. 4-point game. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
Yeah, their last outing was a rough one. Have to be careful of falling in love with that 3.
And you know what, Greg? You can't afford to be a one-function offense. You know what I mean? You've got to be versatile. Got to spread it out and mix it up inside, too.
And it's the Nuggets with the ball after the basket by Minnesota. They set the screen. Rogged in the pass to Washington. Denver passing it around. Cross defended by Butler. Down to 5 on the shot clock.
You gotta love his aggressiveness to finish inside.
Well, his leaping ability gives him a great advantage.
Fellas, that's exactly why they look to get him the ball around the rim. I mean, it's either a dunk or free throws every time.
Screen by Olynyk, and they double up Butler. It's stolen by Jones. Goes up, and it's Beasley finishing it off.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end.
4 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. T kicks to Clarkson. Fires the 3. But they'll get another chance. Feeds it to Butler. Second shot opportunity. Here's Towns. And at last, they get one to fall. Towns has got 6 points.
Hey, scoring off misses, that's easy buckets. Something Towns has the length and tenacity to do on a regular basis.
Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Denver on top, up by 4. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And a guy who seems to improve every season, Jimmy Butler. He spoke with us about one of his biggest surprises.
It's crazy because I've never thought that anybody would be preparing to guard me night in and night out. But they do. I have to learn to cope with that and still find a way to be successful on both ends of the floor. And it's a learning curve for me also, but I'm figuring it out.
And hard to doubt the dedication of Jimmy Butler. He's found a way to overcome obstacles at each important point along the way.
You know, he's a self-made player, and if Butler can stay healthy, boy, the sky's the limit.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And from what we've been watching, guys, with the Nuggets, what are you seeing out there?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
Yeah, I like it too. They're doing a great job working the ball around, staying aggressive, and capitalizing too.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. So on the floor for Minnesota, Olynyk is out there with Karl Anthony Towns. Then there's Ian Clark. Then there's Jordan Crawford, and it's Clarkson in at the point. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, analytics has taken over the NBA, but Minnesota coach and president of basketball operations Tom Thibodeau says it doesn't tell you everything. He said analytics can measure a lot of things, but it's very difficult to measure drive. The magic is in the work. Kevin?
And Tom Thibodeau makes a good point, D.A. Analytics is certainly helpful, but it doesn't capture everything. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter-style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition too, didn't you? From a grinded-out type of game inside to spacing.
I did, and I like to say that Doc Rivers started the small ball, and we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, MyLeague Settings was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game, you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Dude. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice, but after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. And that one's good. Wiggins. And let's get your take, guys, on the hustle stats for Minnesota.
They've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
Now here's Jones, following the miss by Jokic. Outside, George. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
You know, one of the things Paul George, PG, has done is improve his ball handling, and as a result, defenders are nervous when he's handling the ball and getting up into a shot.
The Nuggets shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
Shooting 2.
The first free throw is good.
You know, George has a pretty quiet way about him. He's not a very demonstrative guy, and I think that's appealing. He kind of lets the game come to him and lets his game do his talking.
Butler, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Teague comes in for Tyus Jones, and a switcher also for Denver. Millsap's checked in, and both free throws good for Paul George.
And at the line, it's all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
Towns sets the pick for Teague. And a wide open look here for Wiggins, and that comes off the assist by Jeff Teague. Wiggins has got 5 points now this quarter. The Nuggets trail by 4. Outside, George. Here's Murray. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 7.5 points a game. To the inside, here's Jokic, and the rejection by Towns.
A tremendous shot blocker in college, Kevin. Towns has packed that part of his game and brought it with him to the next level.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
Excellent example of toughness and physicality on defense. Got his nose right in the middle of things and made a play.
The Timberwolves making a switch here. Olynyk's checked in and stolen by Favors. Fast break, Minnesota. It's stolen by Oladipo. Great to have you with us, KG, and Lightning Experience. Come back and join us sometime, okay?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it anytime.
You were terrific. You were terrific.
Great. K-Hall, you always make me look good, man. Since 95, man. We've been doing this a long time, my dude.
Great to see you.
Thank you, dog.
Always fun to have Kevin Garnett on the set card. You can tell he was in high spirits as usual. Have to respect his continued zeal for the game.
Yeah, he's never lacked for passion or zeal. It's been part of what's made him such a great player, a Hall of Famer in the future. And I don't think that's ever going away. I mean, he's really a kid at heart, and he played the game that way, which was a pleasure to watch. And, man, it's been really cool seeing him do what he did as an NBA player and actually giving back to some of the younger guys that are coming up in the league now.
And here are the Nuggets now. Derek Favors making his last shot. Millsap kicks to Murray. Jones dishes to Oladipo. Right wing. Some nice ball movement by the Nuggets. Jones with the screen on Butler. 5 on the clock. Here's Oladipo, and it's Oladipo with the jam.
And when you give Oladipo a running start, he's going to torch you, plain and simple.
Butler from outside. That misses, would have counted had it gone in. And the first half comes to a conclusion in a game that has been very close so far. Timberwolves lead by 2. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by from the sideline. All right, Dave.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy, you have come a long way in this league. When you look at your career now versus when you came in, how different is it?
Much different. I think on the floor, I'm supposed to do a lot more on both ends of the floor. And off the floor, I think it's still the same. People recognize my hair.
Well, it is a unique style, Jimmy. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, David, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back out here for the start of the third quarter after this break.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. Time for the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. The first half was all about Karl Anthony Towns. He had 14 points, 3 block shots, and 5 rebounds. He had a very shaky performance in their last game, but it has not affected him at all tonight. What a tremendous first half he played. And Kenny, what did you see out there from the Timberwolves?
Well, so far, they've taken care of their business here at home. It's something you might expect, but it's not a given. We'll see if they can keep that up in the second half.
And big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Nuggets.
Well, I'll tell you what I saw in the first half, Ernie. 3 things. Soft defense, not enough pressure, but they can still win this game. They need to ramp it up. Was that 2 or 3? Doesn't matter. You understand, Ernie.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Karl Anthony Towns has been sensational.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, I liked how they took the initiative. They were really locked into what they wanted, not letting the defense dictate their shot selection.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. The Nuggets trail. Second half underway. Here's who Mike Malone's got on the floor. Down low, it's Millsap and Jokic. Murray out there with Oladipo. And it's George in at the small forward position. Clark, a lot of ways to initiate the offense. What's the one thing you look for in a playmaker for a team?
Well, I think the willingness to give the ball up early and then to be able to understand what they're trying to get done offensively. So that comes back to basketball IQ, and we're assuming that the skill set is there. But to me, it's just understanding what you're trying to get every time down the floor and then being able to initiate that with the pass or the dribble.
Jokic, and there's another one for the Nuggets.
Guys, he's one of the main reasons this game is tied up. I mean, he's done his part to keep them in it.
Jones kicks to Towns, out of bounds. Denver takes possession. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for Minnesota.
And when you're riding on the upper end of the conference like these guys are, you usually have an excellent distribution of how and where you get your points. And these guys have a very effective offense, getting it done inside, outside, and from mid-range as well.
George against Wiggins. And George, here we go. And it's George finishing it off.
Look at how high George gets off these drives to the hoop. Banging it down with the violence of a madman.
Now here's Jones. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Wiggins kicks to Butler. Towns, the screen. It's stolen by Oladipo. The shot by George, wide open. That doesn't go either for George.
Yeah, but they're 3 of 4 to start the second half.
Wiggins with it. George picks him up. Wiggins passes to Jones. And Favors kicks to Butler. Shot clock at 6. Not enough on that one as it misses. Denver in the lead. And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Murray kicks to Oladipo. Millsap down low. He's covered by Favors. And that one's good. Millsap.
A nice start to the second half. Just 1 miss in their first 5 attempts.
And one of the toughest parts about playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves is the travel schedule.
Yeah.
Clark, even interdivision games can involve lengthy flights, and the team travels more than any other in the NBA.
Yeah, and you know, everybody travels, and it is part of the league, but it is a small disadvantage for Minnesota to deal with. Not a big one, but nonetheless something unique to them as a team. Not much you can do about it, though. That's their lot, and they've got to make it work.
Some changes for Minnesota. Jordan Crawford comes in for Wiggins, and it's Jordan Clarkson in for Jones. And then for Denver, Washington's checked in for Millsap. Malik Beasley comes in for Victor Oladipo. And Brogdon subbed in for Murray. Now, here's Brogdon. Washington, he's covered by Clarkson. Washington. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. Timberwolves trail. Butler kicks to Clarkson. Can't cash in from close range. So for the Nuggets, their last game, a win against Phoenix.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, I thought the opponent's defense just never showed up.
Yeah, you know what? The waters were calm for most of the game. I mean, little resistance, felt like they could get any look they wanted at any time.
And you don't ever want to get into the habit of letting the offense get to the rim.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the message they were sending with that foul. Nothing easy inside.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First one falls for him.
And how about the 46th pick back in the 14 draft? Jordan Clarkson has certainly exceeded expectations thus far in his career. An athletic combo guard, he's really succeeded playing at both the 1 and 2.
Olynyk, he's checked in for Minnesota. That one drops. He ties it up. And Greg, Jordan Clarkson, he has an offensive game, doesn't he?
He's able to shoot with range, and he can attack off the bounce as well. I think that enables him to kind of play on or off the ball. And I think he has a chance to be a really good two-way player in our league.
Now here's Crawford for the lead. They get it back. Another shot, and he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. The Timberwolves shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
At the line for 2.
Two shots.
And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. Well, Clark, you've been in the booth for so long, but I have to ask, have you ever toyed with the idea of coaching or working in some team's front office? I know you did briefly for the Pacers.
Yeah, I did, and I enjoyed it. I was working in player relations, player development with our guys off the court, and loved it. But it just wasn't something I could sustain at this season in my life. Not interested in coaching. I've never really been, because my career path went towards broadcasting right after I got done playing, and I've paid my dues and have grown in this profession. And I would want to do the same thing in coaching, and I just don't have enough time in front of me to do that. So I'm happy to be around the game in this capacity. Coaching never lets up. I get an off season as a broadcaster.
Yes. A nice shot by Teague. Teague's got his first bucket in this one.
And the crafty, cunning Teague, fantastic at finding ways to score down low.
Brogdon with it. Banked in off the glass. Brogdon's got his second basket of the night.
And giving up some height, he just finds a way to carve out a little separation.
Yeah, you know, he doesn't back down from anybody, Greg. Effective at getting the room he wants, and then gets his shot off in time.
And no one near Clarkson as he lets it go. That's good, and so Teague with the assist.
Such quick ups, Clarkson, giving the defense no chance to close out on it.
Brogdon the pass to Washington. Count that one.
And they are going toe-to-toe here tonight, guys. This thing's like a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, these teams evenly matched, Greg, trading hits and refusing to give up any advantage.
Now here's Teague. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Back to Clarkson. Lets it go from deep. He's off on that one. Now the Nuggets take it the other way. They can go 2 for 1.
It's about being smart right now.
Washington. Olynyk is covering.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
Here's Clarkson. Can't hit from 12.
He is just really almost playing for the other team. The shooting has just been poor.
Cross. And again, Denver with the triple. 16 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Teague dishes to Crawford. Screen by Olynyk. Crawford kicks to Towns. Changes up. Misses at the rim.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
And so it's the Denver Nuggets with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. Back to the action after this word. And now we take a listen into the recent huddle from Tom Thibodeau.
Come on, man. Let's get that lead. Got to get the ball moving. Get the ball moving.
Tom Thibodeau pushing his guys, wants to see a higher level of activity on offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a position to make a move right now. Coach feels that'll come through unselfish play, not hero ball.
Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. We've got Teague. Wiggins is out there with Kelly Olynyk. Then it's Karl Anthony Towns. And it's Jones in at the point guard position. So that's the Timberwolves 5. So it's Denver now. They lead by 6, their biggest margin. Down low, the pass to Washington. The Nuggets moving the ball around. Titov. Covered by Wiggins. 3 on the clock. Back to Millsap. Over Olynyk. Millsap misses.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
Wiggins kicks to Towns. Outside, Jones. Olynyk inside. It's deflected, and he's able to get it back. And yes, it's good. Olynyk's got the fourth quarter started here with a bucket for the Timberwolves. Time called here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over. One thing that Tom Thibodeau can be depended on as a coach is giving his star players a lot of minutes. In fact, in Chicago, Clarkson criticized him for doing that. Others praised him for it. But the fact of the matter is, if you're a team leader, he expects you to be on the floor a lot and produce a lot.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the job. Hey, when you get right down to it, if you're one of the best players, you've got to show up and do your job all the time. And you look at players who've played under Thibodeau. I mean, he's had the league leader in average minutes 3 times in his career as a coach. Said himself that he expects his guys to get used to what star players do, which includes a lot of minutes.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, Mike Malone had some words for his team during the break. He told his guys they've got the green light to keep shooting from downtown. He told them, I like the way you guys are working out there. Keep finding the open spaces on the perimeter. They're giving us open shots. We'll see if they step it up from here, guys.
Here's Towns. The Nuggets getting the bucket. Over Millsap. And good. Got the friendly bounce off the right side of the rim. 18 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Denver leading by 4. And here is Murray. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And, you know, really when you look at it, Murray is quite crafty at getting contact on his drives. I like his fearlessness going to the hole.
And let's take a moment, guys, to get your take on the scoring so far for the Nuggets.
Boy, guys, I really like how they've driven the ball to the basket in this game. I mean, they've been very aggressive with it.
Couple that with just how well they've shot it from beyond, and they've made this thing look easy.
Free throw good, Murray.
And Murray has a full package. I mean, he's a deadly shooter and a surprisingly good penetrator, too. A terrific guard.
No good on the second free throw.
He did the important part at the line there, the heavy lifting, if you will. Made this a two-possession game.
Wiggins against George. He kicks to Millsap. Back to George. Launches it. Buries it from three-point range. George has got 5 points now in the quarter.
And, you know, the long-range shooting of PG is admirable. I mean, he's a dead-eye launcher from deep, and he's developed that part of his game over the years.
Now here's Wiggins. Towns, the pass to Wiggins. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Towns has got 3 assists tonight.
And that's how you answer back.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, go right back at him. Show him you can shoot from outside all night long.
Jokic inside. Towns on him. Yes, that goes in. And 12 points for Jokic.
He's just able to shoot over people at a high rate.
And you were a good defender, Greg, so you tell me, how do you guard that? I mean, the height, the soft release, not a lot you can do against that combination.
Now here's Towns over Millsap, and that one goes long.
That's exactly how you want to play it defensively, Kevin. I mean, getting a hand up to distract and bother the shooter, not easy to stop somebody this deep inside.
Now here's Wiggins. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. Favors with the screen. Butler in the corner. Back to Jones. 6 to shoot. Towns the screen. The 11-footer. And he gets that one to go off the front iron.
What a shot over the bigger defender. That could prove to be a massive bucket.
Greg does not get much tougher than that. Tough defense, high pressure situation, clutch play. I love it.
Got freed up. Nice work off the pick.
And making plays for others. One of the many ways Millsap can beat you.
Timberwolves trail by 7. Jones dishes to Favors. Outside Butler. Screen by Jones. Towns against Millsap. Another miss by Towns.
Well executed. Great rhythm. You've got to finish that one.
Agree with you there, partner, because that screen really freed him up nicely, and that's a shot. And if you're a pro, you need to make that one.
Off the pick, the dunk, and the foul. A powerhouse move, and he's got a chance for one more at the line. That one is on Towns.
And you know what? When Paul George sees an open teammate, he doesn't hesitate. I mean, he quickly gets the ball out of his hands. It doesn't stick with him.
Free throw, good. Jokic, and the Timberwolves call time here. They're down by 10. 1:24 left in the fourth quarter. And now we get the chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Nikola Jokic.
Sensational game for him in terms of shooting efficiency. He's taken nothing but high percentage shots. That's how he's managed to hit over 60% from the field. I mean, making just about everything he's looked at.
And as the star of this team, he knows he's going to be the object of the crowd's anger. And so it's Minnesota with it, trailing by 10. And Favors kicks to Butler. Paul Millsap with the rebound. Denver's gone 4 of 8 tonight from three-point land, shooting 50% on the three ball here. Back to Oladipo. Millsap a screen. Jokic passes to Millsap and stolen by Favors. 17-foot shot on the way. And a kind roll that time off the rim as that one falls.
Tell you what, the team wants to see more of this from Wiggins, causing turnovers to get his team out in transition.
Murray kicks to Jokic. With nobody on him, he parries the jumper. Jokic has got the lead up to 10 now for the Nuggets.
And leaving nothing to chance here on this game-clinching run.
Exactly. Cold-blooded. Separation solidified. Great effort.
They're in good position here to ride it out.
Certainly. If they just play smart, this game's over.
Towns with the defensive effort.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be because he is so strong in the paint.
Butler, no good. Guys, some great passing from him.
Yeah, everybody's touching it, and you're starting to see the assists pile up because the rhythm is on display offensively.
Now Murray. So the Nuggets win it. This was a hard-fought, well-earned victory for them, Greg. They really had to work for this win.
That's a good point. I mean, weaker teams might have buckled at the end with the crowd amped up, everyone in the building kind of rooting against you, but they stood tall and pulled it out.
Well said. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Paul. Congrats on the win. Where is your team's attitude right now?
Continue to, play together, and we can just stick to that. Keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Looked like it all came together tonight, Paul. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.